Welcome to the morning show. It's Saturday, the 7th of July. I'm Biola Alabi. On today's show, we have 3 Mandela Washington Fellows, young leaders to the United States for academic coursework, as well as leadership training, and create opportunities in Africa for fellows to put new skills to practical use in leading organizations, communities, and countries. First, I'll be sitting down with Mesturah Shittu, a domestic violence victim who channeled her energy into carpentry and is now training other young women to do so. And then I will be talking to Onyedikachi Ewerike, a clinical psychologist helping women through postpartum depression. Also on the program today is Ahmed Adetola Kazim, a prisoners' rights advocate. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is Arise News. You're watching the morning show with me, Biola Alabi. Mesturah Shittu is a lady carpenter with over 10 years experience in furniture, interior design sector, a trade she put all her energy into while in the dark place of domestic violence. Today, she's the founder of Women Live Your Dreams Academy, an academy and a support group dedicated to Nigerian women, mostly in underserved areas, for empowerment, enhancement, and capacity building. Mesturah also now coaches domestically abused women. Mesturah, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Bella, for having me.
So I want to talk first about where you were when you started to how you started to come out of it, and how you started to get to where you are today. When we talk about where you were, it said we were in the introduction, we talk about you being in a dark place, in a place of domestic violence. How did this happen to you? How did you find yourself as a victim of domestic violence?
Well, thank you, Bella. I mean, I get to answer this question every day. I mean, no woman wants to be involved in domestic violence. I mean, I remember going to the marriage. I mean, it's normal, you're happy, everybody's happy for you, that you're getting married and all that.
So quickly, were you guys young sweethearts? Were you guys older? Okay, so you guys...
Actually, we met on the job.
Oh, wow.
And it was so hardworking. So I felt, when he asked me, I was like, okay, cool, let's give it a trial. But I didn't know he was pretending all along. And I mean, I got into the marriage, and alas, I discovered that I married my enemy. That's the word, because he doesn't want anything good for me. He talked me down. If I'm going for my business, he's like, no, you mustn't go. You have to stay back home and all that. He couldn't manage my success. And that was what brought out the domestic violence. He started beating me. I mean, he does all sorts. Talk me down in front of my customers, in front of my staff. He beats me in front of my parents sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened on the first time that happened, where where you were physically assaulted? Were you surprised? Did you think that?
I was shocked. Like it started with a slap, and when he gave me the slap, I was like, "Oh my God, is this happening to me?" And he said, "I will beat you over and over again." I mean, it's just this minor argument, and he just went all. I mean, shouting and doing all sorts. So, I mean, I experienced the battery. I can't even count the number of times he had hit me. He had hit me in front of the bank while I was pregnant. I mean, all sorts. There was a time we both went for a program, and I was supposed to do the presentation, but he said, because he's an architect and an interior designer, so we do the same thing. So he felt, no, because it's my husband, he has to, do the presentation. I said, okay, no problem. But along the line, he lost his lines, and I helped him out, okay, so that it doesn't look like we're not prepared for the interview. And on our way back to the mainland, it was on the island. He parked on 3rd Mainland Bridge, and he was so hungry, and he said he wanted to throw me into the
oh wow
into the water. I mean, I was like, what have I done? You were stuttering and I helped you out. I mean, I don't think this is what I deserve to help. I mean, to
You're a
help
team.
you.
I mean, for you,
Yes,
you're
we
sitting in a
work
place where you're like, we're a
together.
team.
Yes.
We're,
But it's
we
not,
both
it
win.
sees me as an enemy. It sees me. And that wasn't the way we started, definitely. But I would not say that I didn't see the red flag. But just like I've listened to several people who had gone through the route. Most of us were naive. We didn't really understand those red flags. That when a man, does this, this is what he has at the back of his mind.
So let's go back to you guys dating. When you were dating, what red flags did you see in that period before marriage?
Okay, so he was a man full of bitterness, full of anger. But each time he probably talks anyhow, he come back begging and crying. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know what came over me, da, da, da. And that was towards, after our introduction. He actually hid everything while we're dating, and he started bringing everything out little by little. But immediately I entered the marriage, I mean, he showed his true color.
And so now you're in this marriage, this is happening to you. You're shocked, you can't believe this is happening to you. How do you start to get yourself out of this situation? What do you start to do?
I will give it to my parents. I have a very good support system. So when it happened, initially I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell my friends what I was going through.
Was that because you felt?
Yes, because our environment doesn't allow you to speak out. They don't encourage it. So when a woman is going through domestic violence, you meet your family. The next thing they're telling you is they're advising you that, oh, go and pray. Or maybe you're the one, you need to be calmer, or when he's talking, you don't talk. I mean, in this part of the world, they see us as glorified maid. A typical African man wants his wife to be in the kitchen, not in the office.
Not in the other room.
Not in the other room. So that's what they were taught, that a woman is meant to be relegated to the back, not to be seen in the front.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long were you in this marriage before you left?
18 months.
18, oh wow, that's very short.
Very, very short.
And you were able to get your family to give you the support to leave?
Yes, I went back to my family. I told them what happened. They were shocked because I was practically lying. I told them several lies. Also, if they see any scar on my face, oh, Tura, what happened to you? Well, I hit my face on the wall. Oh, all sorts of lies just to cover him up. Because I know if I tell them then, I mean, the whole house is going to be like... So I don't want to go through all those stuff. So each time my mom sees me or my dad sees me on phone, like, oh, Tura, what was this scar on your face? I'm like, oh, I hit my face. Da, 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 da. But when everything happened, I couldn't hold it. The last time was, he actually beat me in front of my house. He wanted to collect he seized one of my car and he wanted to take the second one. And I said, no, you've taken the first car. I don't know where you kept this car. So you can't tell me not to take the second car. And he said, I dare not move an inch. And I dared him. I picked the car key and left the house. So he ran after me. And unfortunately, the car was driving out of my compound and I slipped through. My neck was actually stuck under the car, and he pulled me out with my hair. He pulled me out, collected the key, beat me in front of my neighbors, all of them. My kids were crying, and he left. So there and then, my landlady called my mom that, no, she can't take this any longer, that someone needs to come to my aid and all that. So I told my family, I told them I was sorry, that I had lied to them several times. And that's the trend. You see women covering for their husband because we don't want to tell them, oh, we married a monster, But thank God for my parents. They were able to come through for me. I lost everything. I lost one of my cars, one of my money, because I had access to my account. So he went with everything, and I started all over again.
Wow. Wow. You're a survivor.
Yeah.
You're a survivor. So now this is all happening. You've moved out. You're in this dark place. How do you even find light? How do you find light to find what's next?
Well, my pastor, Pastor Paul, told me something, that, Tura, you are a tree rooted in the Word. You are rooted with God. This guy actually saw the beautiful fruits, and he came to pluck them. So if you find a tree and you pluck those fruits, this tree might probably not have some fruit for some time, some period, but after some time, the tree will bring new fruits. So that actually helped me. That I actually made all this it went with. Then if I continue with God on my side, I will come back and bounce back. And all glory to God, I bounced back like 4 or 5 times better than what He left me with.
Oh, wow, congratulations. And so now you're a Mandela Fellow, yes. Washington Mandela Fellow. Yes. You are also a carpenter.
Yes, I am.
So tell me, you went from interior design to carpentry. How did you make that transition, especially after, like, as you were rebuilding your life, was building part of what you wanted to do and sort of work with your hands? Like, how did carpentry?
I studied chemistry in University of Lagos, and all through that period, I knew I wasn't going to do a 9-to-5 job because I'm very creative. I love colors. Then, if you see me, you see colors. That's one thing you see.
Well, I love your uniform that you have here. It has purple, it has some gold, it has white. So we already see a lot of color there. Yes.
So. I knew, I don't really know what I wanted for my life, but I knew I wasn't going to end up my life as a chemist. So fortunately for me, I met the former governor who introduced me to the chief of staff that, okay, this girl wanted to start something, but he doesn't know what to give me. And he offered me a job. I said, no, I don't want a job. He was like, what kind of lady are you? Don't you want a job? Because he came to University of Lagos. So he met some of us then. We campaigned for him.
Okay.
And he said, okay, so what do we want? I mean, some of my friends said, oh, they wanted money. Some said they wanted a job. But I told him to give me some time. I don't know what I want for myself. So fortunately, they started giving me furniture to supply. And one day I supplied furniture to one of the directors, and he was making love to his wife, and he had an accident. So the man was so angry. That's what the hell is this? Then if you don't know the street, go and learn it. So that was the turning point for me. Like, oh, I can actually learn it. So I searched for furniture school in Nigeria, but unfortunately there was none. So I met like a client. I usually buy, he's a supplier rather. So I usually buy furniture from him. He has a factory around Ogun State. So I met with him and I told him what I wanted. And he was like, oh, you want to learn carpentry? I said, yes, I want to learn it. And I started. So I learned all the things I needed to learn. While I was doing that, I also learned interior design. And that was how I started my journey.
Oh, wow. So today, what does Lady Carpenter do?
Well, I design. I create different designs and for different spaces. We work on residential, commercial, and hospitality projects.
And in that field, I mean, were people open to you being, when you said I'm a carpenter and I can build things for you, were people like, eh?
Well, that was when I started. Because being a woman, it's difficult for you to penetrate.
Sure.
But with time, this is my 11th year, with time, people saw that, oh, she knows what she's doing, she can actually deliver. Then they started believing in me. And one thing I do, I don't really do the regular design that you find in any showroom. I tried as much as possible to do something different.
Yeah, people at home can see some of the things you've done. They pop, they look different,
yes,
they're beautiful.
I do different stuff from what the regular things everybody does.
Wow. So, I mean, as someone that had to rebuild your own life, that builds furniture every day, and you're also helping other women build their life, can you tell people about why that was so important to you and how you're doing that through Woman?
Well, after my experience...
But can you tell people what Woman stands for?
Okay, so Woman stands for Women Organized to Make Abuse Non-Existent. We encourage women to live their dreams. After my experience with my ex, I discovered that I saw a lot of women going through this. And most of them, they don't even know where to turn to. They don't know how to come out.
So when you say you saw a lot of women going through this, is the issue more about educating men, or is the issue about educating women to recognize it? Because in a way, if so many women are going through domestic abuse in Nigeria, there obviously is a gap on understanding and education and what we accept and responsibility. Where do you see the gap?
I dare to tell people that it's not these guys. They're not the problem. The problem starts with us, women. So we train and raise these boys becoming men, and how we raising them. So you're telling your son that he's superior to your daughter in the house. You're telling your son because he's a son, he mustn't sweep the house, he mustn't cook, And when he does something, you tell your daughter to apologize. That's where they got this ego thing from, that I am superior. Well, I have 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl. I train them and I raise them equally. So my son doesn't see himself better than my daughter. No, they are equal. So this challenge actually started from parenting. It is very important for parents to nurture their boys. You will see a typical lady in her home. Her mom is raising her to become a woman and to become a wife. But you see a man or a boy in the house, the father is not talking to him. They're either watching ball together or gisting. He's not really preparing this boy that, okay, from this, you're transitioning from this to become a man and to become a responsible man, that you would have your wife and your kids. This is how you train. This is how you deal with your women and all that. So the boy, unfortunately, maybe sees his father beats their mom. So the boy picks those things and feels, oh, that's the normal thing I have to beat. Like my ex, he actually picked everything his parents were doing. Everything. They don't talk to each other in the house. The father doesn't eat the mom's food. And I saw that the same thing were replicating itself in my marriage. So I will go back to parenting, that all those challenges women are facing is actually from we women. Mothers should endeavor to train their boys to become a responsible man, not just throwing them out. Okay, so when you finish school, get married, start family. They don't even know what marriage is all about.
Wow.
Fortunately, the churches were trying, but you can't compare what the church will just teach you the fairy. They will not go to the roots.
Wow. And so with women and the women you're working with, what are some of the things you want young women, before they sort of get into a relationship, to look out for? If you had 5 signs of sort of look out for these signs, what would be it?
Well, number 1 is you guys need to know your value system. You need to, your value system needs to align. Is this person going where I'm going to? So you have a vision also. So this is what I want for myself in the next 5, 10 years. And you meet someone telling you, oh, you have one butterfly jumping in your tummy, oh, you're in love and everything. You need to ensure that your vision and your value system align. Then also, what are your goals in life? So whoever that is coming to your life, you should be able to know that, okay, where he's going to is almost the same destination.
It's aligned, yeah.
Going to. You're not going to, probably you're going to the US and the guy is going to the UK, and you feel that, oh, we will pray it out or love will bring everything together. No way, ain't gonna happen. So I will advise men.
She's like, don't even get those 2 things mixed up.
It ain't gonna happen.
It's different directions.
No way, it's not gonna happen. So then another thing is, yes, we say, okay, Christians and all that, but another thing, you need to ensure that, is this person a good person? Is he a good person? Is he kind? Is he kind to people? Not even you.
Kind to other people.
Other people. So if he is an entrepreneur, how is he treating his workers? How is he treating his staff? How is he treating his friends and his family? So these are the things that most of us will just overlook and say, well, I mean, he loves me and I think that he's spending money for me. Most girls want guys with money, but they don't even, they're not particular about character. Then another thing, your character is very, 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 very important. Then being a life coach, I also, I'm a life coach. So I also love to tell people about their temperament. So if I am a choleric, I should know and study my partner. Now, okay, what's this person's temperament? Can I cope with this person? So what are the weaknesses? What are the strengths? So if your spouse is doing those things, it's because you've taken some time to learn. You're not surprised. Like, okay, a typical melancholy wants, if he puts his remote somewhere, he doesn't want you to move. Even if you move that remote, you must put that remote where he left it. And if you don't, then that's where the argument will start from.
Wow.
But if you understand your spouse, that, okay, this is my spouse. He is melancholy. I'm a sanguine. Sanguine are very scattered. They're not.
So we're going to have you come back and talk all about these coaching things, because you're giving us a lot of hints here. But I just want to say thank you for being on the show today. And thank you for the work you're doing with women and helping us really recognize and understand domestic abuse. And thanks for sharing your story. So
thanks for having me.
Thank you, Mesturah. It's time now to go on a break on the morning show, but when we return, I'll be speaking with clinical psychologist Onyedikachi Ewerike. Stay tuned.